Hey everyone, welcome back. Did you know some coins in your pocket could be worth way more than you think? Today, we're talking about 4 super rare UK coins that could be worth a lot of money. Keep watching, you might just have a hidden treasure right now. First up, let's talk about one of the most mysterious and surprisingly valuable coins out there, the 1997 2p coin. Now normally, this coin isn't rare at all. In fact, millions were made. You'll find them in old purses, coin jars, and even down the side of your sofa. But yes, there's a rare mistake during the minting process has made a few of these coins incredibly valuable. Most of these coins look just like this. On one side, there's Queen Elizabeth II, and on the other, the badge of the Prince of Wales, with the words 2p at the top. Seems pretty ordinary, right? But here's where it gets exciting. A small number of 1997 2p coins were struck with a misalignment error. This means that the two sides of the coin, the obverse and reverse, weren't properly lined up during the minting process. As a result, the design appears doubled, tilted, or even partially missing in some places. This is known as a partial double strike or a die misalignment. These kinds of minting mistakes are very rare, and that's exactly why collectors love them. They're a glimpse into a moment when the machines got it wrong, just for a second, and that small error created something totally unique. If you want to spot one of these rare errors, grab a bright light and take a good look at your coin. You're looking for any design that looks slightly off-center, duplicated, or shifted. Maybe the Queen's head is a bit tilted, or the letters on the back don't quite line up. If anything looks strange or out of place, don't ignore it. Even a small shift in the design could mean you're holding one of the rarest 2p coins ever made. Some of these error coins have sold for up to £4,500, depending on how noticeable the mistake is and the condition of the coin. That's a huge jump in value for something most people think is only worth a couple of pence. And because errors like this aren't supposed to happen, they usually slip through without anyone noticing. Until years later, when collectors start hunting them down. So next time you're going through your change, give those 2p coins a second look. You might just find one with a rare misprint, one that's worth thousands. Next, let's talk about a coin that most people have seen 100 times, but could be hiding a big secret. It's the 1988 1 penny. At first glance, it probably looks like every other penny you've ever seen. Small, copper-colored, and worth just 1p, right? Well, not always. Most of the 1988 1 penny coins were made from copper-plated steel. This is the normal material the Royal Mint used for pennies at the time. They're magnetic, fairly light, and have that bright copper finish when new. But here's where things get interesting. A small number of 1988 pennies were actually struck using the wrong metal, a bronze planchet. Now, a planchet is just the blank disc that gets stamped into a coin. Somehow, a few of these older bronze blanks, left over from earlier years, ended up getting used by mistake. The difference? It's subtle, but important. A bronze penny has a deeper, reddish-brown tone. It also feels slightly heavier than the newer copper-plated steel ones. And here's a quick trick, the bronze penny is non-magnetic, while the steel version is. So if your 1988 penny doesn't stick to a magnet, that's your first clue. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, it all comes down to rarity. These bronze era pennies weren't meant to exist. They were minted by accident, and only a very small number are believed to have slipped through quality control. Because of that, collectors go absolutely crazy for them. One of these bronze-era pennies sold at auction for an incredible £72,000. And experts believe the value could climb even higher, possibly up to £200,000, especially if it's in excellent condition. If you think you might have one of these rare coins, it's a good idea to get it professionally checked. A coin dealer or appraiser can weigh it, test its metal, and confirm if it's the real deal. Even if it looks like a regular penny to most people, its tiny difference in color and weight could make it one of the most valuable coins in the UK. So next time you're digging through your change jar or checking old coins passed down from family, don't overlook the humble 1988 penny. That one little coin could be worth more than a brand new car, or even a house deposit. Alright, now let's step back in time to 1943, right in the middle of World War II. Our next coin is the 1943 threepence, featuring King George VI. It's small, it's 12-sided, and it has a fascinating history, not to mention some hidden value. On one side, you'll see a portrait of King George VI, who was the father of Queen Elizabeth II. His image appeared on coins throughout the 1930s and 1940s. Now, this coin was actually made in two different types of metal that year, and that's where things get really interesting. Most of the 1943 threepence coins were made from brass, that's the yellowish gold one on the left. These were used in everyday circulation right here in the UK. They're pretty common, and if you've ever seen a chunky, 12-sided coin in old pocket change, it was probably one of these. These brass coins were designed to be durable and easy to tell apart by touch, important features during the war when visibility wasn't always great and materials were in short supply. They're heavy, strong, and even today you'll still find them in decent condition. But here's the cool part, a silver version was also made in 1943. It wasn't meant for use in the UK. Instead, these silver coins were minted for use in British colonies, like Mauritius and some Caribbean islands. They look more like the older pre-war coins, lighter in color and thinner than the brass ones. Want to tell them apart? One easy way is by color, of course, but also weight and sound. The silver coin feels lighter and has a higher pitched ring when tapped. Brass coins are thicker and feel heavier in your hand. Now, let's talk value. The brass 1943 threepence isn't rare, but collectors still enjoy finding clean examples. Depending on its condition, meaning how scratched or worn it is, it can sell for anywhere from 5 pence to around £9. The silver version, on the other hand, is much rarer. If it's in good condition, it can be worth anywhere from 70 pence to over £40. The better the condition, the more valuable it becomes. Collectors love these silver types because they weren't widely used in the UK and are much harder to find today. So whether it's the brass version or the more elusive silver type, the 1943 threepence is a piece of history. It tells a story of wartime Britain, overseas territories, and how even small coins played a big role in everyday life. And now, let's take a look at the final coin on our list, the 1953 sixpence, featuring a young Queen Elizabeth II. This isn't just any old coin. It was issued in a very special year, the year Queen Elizabeth was crowned. The obverse shows a fresh, youthful portrait of the Queen, just 27 years old at the time. This was the very first time her image appeared on coins following the death of her father, King George VI. It's a historic moment in British royal history, and this coin captured it. Now flip the coin over, and this is where it gets really interesting. The reverse design is packed with meaning. You'll see 4 national symbols beautifully woven into one design. There's the Tudor rose for England, the thistle for Scotland, the shamrock for Ireland, and the leek for Wales. All joined together, they represent the unity of the United Kingdom under a new monarch. Each symbol was chosen for its deep cultural roots, and they've been used in UK heraldry for centuries. Having all 4 on a single coin is a nod to unity, pride, and the start of a new royal era. Now let's talk about value. The 1953 sixpence was made in large numbers, so it's not as rare as some of the coins we've talked about today. But that doesn't mean it's worthless. In fact, many collectors are still on the hunt for this coin, especially in excellent condition. The value really depends on what kind of shape it's in. If your sixpence is scratched, faded, or dull, it might only be worth around 5 pence. But if it's in top condition, what collectors called uncirculated or mint state, it could be worth up to £2. Collectors love coins from significant royal events, and the 1953 sixpence is part of that story. It's a little piece of the Queen's legacy, struck in the same year as her coronation, and made with care to mark the beginning of a new chapter. So even though it's not ultra rare, it still has a special place in many collections. And who knows? If you find one in great shape tucked away in a drawer or passed down from a relative, it could be a lovely little treasure. There you have it, for ultra-rare UK coins that could be worth a small fortune. Remember, the key to finding valuable coins is knowledge and attention to detail. Always check your change, and who knows? You might just discover a hidden treasure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more coin collecting tips and stories. Until next time, happy hunting!